Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 Northport. W265CG Tuscaloosa. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Alabama 1st and 10 on the 12. Again, Houston. He's got a hole. He's over. Alabama touchdown.
I'm just wondering if your listeners know how good a football player you were. I can still see you playing that fullback, knocking those players out of the way. And I believe I could have run behind you.
Martin, I can remember when we came to summer, and you were playing fullback up there, and I saw you in the weight room and watched you work out in the weight room. And you could pick up, you were strong enough to pick up the whole weight room. I wanted to recruit you, and I running back coach didn't take biggest mistake we ever made.
The Martin Houston Show with national championship winning fullback Martin Houston, giving you 1 hour of intense, hard-hitting analysis from an insider's perspective. It's time for the Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, Martin, you're hot in 3, 2, 1.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. We're live and local and ready to get things going right here on your home for Alabama Sports, Tide 100.9. I'm Martin Houston. This is the Martin Houston Show, the Sound of Alabama Sports, your show, your team. Glad you have chosen to get up and at 'em with us on this beautiful Tuesday morning, and you can be a part of the conversation at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9904, the Taco Casa hotline open for business. Or you're always welcome to chat us up where we're simulcasting on the Martin Houston Live fan page on both Facebook and YouTube, as well as at Tide 109. And then give us a like, give us a follow, retweet us at Martin Houston 35. That's at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a share. And remember that this is a day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. Got a great show lined up for you. We're going to be adding DC Capstone Report here in just a few minutes to kick off the second quarter. But until then, got a lot of topics we can get to. Burns versus the city. What does it mean? Greg Burns coming out and putting a halt to alcohol sales at Coleman Coliseum, as well as that would mean not at Bryant Denny. And we can talk about that story as well. And the mayor, of course, and city council swinging back, saying we're not being unfair to Alabama athletics or the sports, the fans of Alabama. Greg Burns obviously disagrees, so we can talk about that. Also, Arch Manning down to two. The Tide in Texas, Alabama versus Texas, battling it out. Sark is Sark the reason for that? That Texas is even in the mix. Who the granddaddy, Big Papi or whatever name Elder Manning goes by. But either way, Arch Manning eliminating all but Alabama and Texas from consideration at this moment. Will that remain the case? It's yet to be seen, but we can get into that conversation as well. I was looking at the fact that this time we had SEC quarterbacks dueling it out in the Super Bowl, both wearing jersey number 9. It's a sweet day when you look into the NFL and you see SEC quarterbacks, because for the longest time it was said that SEC quarterbacks are nothing more than game managers. They're really not guys who can win at the next level. But hey, we'll see if the SEC has become the league of quarterbacks as they move into the NFL. So, like I said, that's another conversation. And SEC was guaranteed to get a quarterback, and you kind of look at it and go, did the elder statesman of the SEC quarterbacks get his? And now all the other young gunslingers, the Burrows and Tagovailoa and Mac Jones, and wow, that sounds like Alabama may be coming quarterback Q, and Jalen Hurts, and expected to potentially have the number one quarterback taken again with Bryce Young. Huh. Wow, what's happened? Does that really also show you how much the SEC has changed in football? And definitely, last but not least, 200 days away from the season. It's hard to believe that we're already counting that down, but only 200 days from here on out, we're downhill sloping toward the kickoff of Alabama football. And last but definitely not least, Joe, on tomorrow we'll be just at 2 months from A-Day game with the April 16th kickoff for Alabama annual A-Day game. And Joe, you said that they're doing something a little special this year. I thought was really neat in terms of the A-Day game. What exactly do they have planned for A-Day in terms of honoring players? And let me see.
I'm sorry, say that one more time, Martin. I know A-Day is April 16th, and
Yeah.
we're honoring the
yes.
Original two, John Mitchell and Wilbur Jackson.
Yes.
Marshall. Oh goodness.
Marshall played with he was a run from the Bears, right?
Yes.
You're Bears. Hey, listen, I give you a pass because I know you're a Bears man. So you probably would call
I was 1 for 2.
Davis. You may call Davis our linebacker. You might call him Mike Singletary. So hey, I'll give you a pass on it. But no, it's a big day for Alabama, and they're honoring the first two scholarship guys that came here in Alabama. What a deal, man! What a big day for Alabama. But biggest thing is hard to believe we're 2 months away, not from practice, but from A-Day. So from the actual game, and this is going to be an interesting off season with all of the coaches. Now most of the coaching staff has been situated, but have you heard what's happening to Savoda yet?
No, there's still no. Did he just disappear, or I have no idea.
I mean, supposedly we hired Cox as his replacement, but no word on Savoda. We do know that Marone is with the Saints. Went back to the NFL. Not surprised by that. The Bill O'Brien story quickly died down. So looks like Bryce Young is going to have another of the same coach again, and so that's good news, I guess, for him. And hopefully he's learned the college game a little bit more, and we'll have enough running backs, and he'll have enough to know that inside the 5, it's okay to run the ball at least once, maybe. If you get there 8 times, maybe one run is not a bad thing. But overall, Alabama coaching staff, we assume, is set for the spring, and they'll be getting ready to go. Going to have a lot of new weapons coming back for the Alabama Crimson Tide. A lot of new weapons coming in, I should say, for the Crimson Tide. But Joe, I guess have you seen the Greg Burns versus the City story breaking and getting some legs?
Yes, I'm actually very curious to hear your opinion of it, considering your kind of special relationship with the athletic department and your recent foray in city politics. It's going to be. It sounds like yesterday I listened to I listened to Walt Maddox. He was on the Jay Barker show right here on Tide 100.9, and he talked about he compared it to being the Bama Theater and the Tuscaloosa Amphitheater, how they similarly have a fee on their tickets, and basically said that the city provides some of some of these the personnel for the events, so that the events should take on the extra cost is kind of the way I understood it. But I also want to caveat Walt Maddox was in full on politician mode, so there was a lot of window dressing in his flowery words, in my opinion.
Yeah. First of all, I'll say as a pastor, I hope they don't ever sell alcohol, but but at the same time, that's not what we're addressing. We're addressing whether or not I agree with Greg Burns or not. So I wanted to make that clear that I'm not in support of it at all. But if we're gonna do it, um, I don't know if you look at the University of Alabama the same way you do everybody else. Um, you know what I mean? I just when you look at those numbers, Joe, um, the only one that's going to put up any additional money, have to pay additional over $1, then I would say that if you were gonna do it, at worst case, it would be $1, regardless of the size of the venue. Um, because the fact of the size of the venue requires more people. If the smaller venue requires, ever how many, and $1 covers it, wouldn't you translate that if you got to 100,000 tickets, wouldn't the $100,000 cover it just like $500 would cover it if you sold $500 ticket at the Bama Theater? You see what I'm saying? Like I think Greg's issue may be the fact that you did it in stair steps from $1 to $2 to $3, meaning that you're gonna hit up every ticket sold in Bryant Denny, even the tickets of the children and all of that at $3 a pop. Um, when in reality, you would be, if you sold it. How many seats we have now? 90 something thousand.
Yeah, right at 100, right?
Right at right at
Over
100.
that 50,000 mark that would trigger the $3 fee. Martin, let me ask you this real quick though. If they were to sell alcohol in the venues, do you think that it would slow down the consumption prior to the game, and thus maybe maybe the atmosphere in the stadium will be a little more controlled, and because you don't have to for those who are partaking load up prior to the game.
I think two things is happening right now. I think people are loading up, and I think people are sneaking in. And so what you may have is you may have a leveling out, and I think that's what you're saying. Instead of everybody, trying to get all of theirs in before the game, some are going to still drink. It doesn't matter if you have it there or not. Uh, but others that may want to have a certain feel or whatever. I don't drink, so but I understand some say, "Hey, man, it helps me enjoy and relax it, whatever." So yeah, I think that some of that may be leveled out, Joe, in terms of instead of it being a binge thing that I have to do because I have to get mine in before 2:00 before I go into the stadium. They may relax and enjoy a beer and whatever with their friends at the stadium, if that makes it. Is that what you're asking?
That is if that were the case, maybe there'll be less problems in the
Right.
stadium for people who have loaded up or are sneaking in,
Right.
and basically that the burden on the officers and on the security
Yeah.
might not be as heightened as maybe we think.
Right,
As
and
risky
that's
as we think.
yeah, and I think I think the mayor's also saying what it's going to cost after the stadium, and like I said, the people who are going to do it are going to do it anyway, right? And the key is that even like I said, I don't want it at all. But I guess my point, Joe, and we can ask DC this as well. If whatever increased number of people you have at Bryant Denny, you also increasing the money. So if a dollar per ticket covers the overtime for 5,000 tickets at the amphitheater, why is it that you need $300,000 to cover the tickets at Bryant Denny? That makes sense. Like you, I mean, you would get another $100,000 to cover the Bryant Denny, just like you get 5,000 if you sold 5,000 at a venue. And I think that's probably, I don't know that he would have had as big a deal, because where's the only place that you're going to have to pay more than $1 at in Tuscaloosa?
Well, it's exponential because the $1 fee for up to 20,000. Basically, I'm assuming Walt Maddox is assuming exponential liability with more thousands upon thousands of people.
They said it's for, but what I'm saying is they're saying it's to pay for the overtime for the police officers.
I think honestly, Martin, I have an unfavorable opinion of some of our local politicians. So
and that's what I'm saying is they're saying is to pay for overtime. And how many people, if you have 19,000 people and you get 19,000 additional dollars, does that cover the overtime for that 19,000 people? And if you have 75,000, you get $75,000. If you're going to do this, would you not get that same money? I think it's the fact that they know, because originally it was not. It actually was slipped out that they were going to do Bryant Denny. Okay. Here's what I was told. This didn't come up when it was the Coleman Coliseum, Joe. It didn't come up when it was Coleman Coliseum. It came up because the guy at the last meeting that was representing, I think, the distributor, let it slip that there's also plans in the future to go to Bryant Denny. And then the next week, it came out that they're going to do the service fee.
Yeah, our guy Stephen Deathridge was at the original meeting, and he left the meeting at the end, and he blew us all up. He said, they're going to do this at Bryant Denny. They let it slip.
Yep. So, and then the next week, the city council came out with what they came out with. So, yeah. Hey, let's go ahead and get it a break. We'll get back. We'll bring DC into this conversation as well as Arch Manning conversation, as well as only 200 days away from Alabama football spring practice in 2 months as well. We'll be breaking that conversation down right here on the Martin Houston Show.
High 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, no active wrecks. On this Tuesday morning, everything moving pretty well around town. Of course, if you do see conditions throughout the day that folks need to hear about, just give me a call. Townsend Nissan is your hometown dealer with super selection and great deals all month long. That's Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa. And I'm Captain Ray.
COVID-19 has disrupted our lives, but it won't have the last word. We will. Across Alabama, thousands are getting vaccinated to protect themselves and others. Find out where you can get the COVID vaccine today at alabamaunites.com. Please get vaccinated. If you have symptoms, also get tested for COVID-19. Alabama Unites Against COVID. Sponsored by the ADPH, the ABA, and this station.
Hey, Ray Magliozzi here. I'd like to carry more parts at my shop, but I just don't have the room. Every time I go in the back to get wiper blades, I trip over a dusty crate of Honda air filters, then bang my head on some GTO radiator hoses. eBay Motors never has that problem. They stock all the right parts at the right prices. 122 million of them, with everything from new headlights to vintage gear shifters. I can't imagine being able to stock 122 million parts. I mean, where would I get all those shelves? eBay Motors. Let's ride.
365, 24/7. You'll find road and utility crews, tow truck, law enforcement, and first responders working along Alabama's roadway.
We're making improvements and helping our communities stay connected.
We're working hard to make sure you're safe on the road. Now we need your help to make sure we're safe too.
Alabama's move over law requires you to move over a lane when you see flashing lights on the roadside. And if you can't safely move over, please slow down.
Visit DriveSafeAlabama.org, brought to you by the Alabama Department of Transportation, Alabama Broadcasters Association, and this station.
Water stains on the shower glass. Try rubbing some shaving cream on.
Tyler's cleaning crew knows every housekeeping trick in the book.
Handling timesheets now.
But they need a proper bookkeeper to keep finances tidy.
New equipment is a business expense, right?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
A nice warm-up today with a sunny sky, the high 67. For tonight, clear with the low at 42. Tomorrow, partially sunny, the high at 70. Thursday, windy, rain and thunderstorms moving in. The storms on Thursday could be severe, the high at 71. I'm James Spann of the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 32 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmartdesign.com.
Interact with the Martin Houston Show by calling us at 205-342-9904 or tuning into the Martin Houston Show on Facebook.
All right, Martin, you're back in 3, 2, 1. All right, we're back in with the Martin Houston Show. Don't miss out on these great rates. Want rates that start strong and finish strong? That's the Alabama One balance transfer promotion. 0% intro for the first 6 months, no APR interest rates. And then after that, still finish with low rate, current rates afterwards at 7.99 to 12.99 APR. You can apply today. Go to alabama1.org. 0 balance transfer fee, 0 annual fee, 0% intro for 6 months, and then 7.99 to 12.99 afterwards, and cash back rewards. That's the Alabama One balance transfer promotion. Go to alabama1.org. Alabama one together. Good morning, DC. How you doing, sir?
Oh, doing great, Martin. How are you this morning?
Yeah, I'm doing great. We had a little conversation going on. I'll get your thoughts on it, and then I'll give my closing thoughts on it, and we'll move on to a couple other things. But we're having a conversation. It appears that Greg Burns is not happy with recent decision by Mayor Walt Maddox and the Tuscaloosa City Council putting a service fee on the sale of tickets. He said that it's unfairly, and they made it about all the alcohol, anywhere alcohol is sold at a venue, but he said it unfairly targets the University of Alabama Athletic Department and its fans. What's your thoughts in terms of that conversation?
Well, in my personal opinion is I don't think alcohol should be sold at the large venues anyway, where there's families involved and children involved. That's just my personal opinion. If you're going to sell it, it's been notorious that if you're going to sell alcohol, the way to control it is tax it. Get the cost of it so high that people won't drink as much. So I think that's one thing that's going here. The other thing is the politics. There's politics involved. It's gonna, I think the city of Tuscaloosa has long given a lot to the University of Alabama in support and help and police, fire, protection, that sort of thing. And I think there's a lot of folks that believe that Walt Maddox is, tenure, if it will, he's always catered to the University of Alabama. So this is another way to kind of
ease that. So I think it's politics. I think that's one reason you'll hear him talk in favor of the fee and that sort of thing. When you get past all of the politics, and you get past all of the rhetoric that's going on, really we're talking about money. And I think it's a cash grab on the city's part to try to get as much as possible. You write the rules in a way that's favorable to the city to get the most money, and that is, it looks on the surface that it's going to be even across the board. But in reality, you're skewing it to the fact that the University of Alabama is the only game in town that gets you to a certain level that get that money in. So, in my opinion, I think Greg Byrne and them, and when they made the push before this whole deal as to what it's going to do, really didn't want to come out about Bryan Denny Stadium. I think they were just trying to get it passed for the Coleman Coliseum at first in a smaller venue. I don't think it would have been an issue at that point, but when the city saw it might be coming to Coleman, it was an area that grabbed some more money. When coming to Bryan Denny, a way to grab some more money. And so, you can see both sides. I think it really is a cash grab by the city to try to get as much money as possible. And I think the rhetoric by Greg Byrne is trying to get that negotiated down differently in the larger venues.
Yeah, because Rhett Dennis said taxing the sale of alcohol would take care of the police presence needed. You don't need extra police for the 50% that won't be drinking. Contrary to popular opinion, not everybody that goes to Bryant Denny is drinking and would be drinking just because it's available. So I know that everybody thinks that a lot, but out there that do not drink alcohol and would like to go somewhere where they could enjoy the game without that presence. But even if it's there, not everyone, available, not everyone's going to be drinking. And then Virgil Williams said, I'm with you for them not selling it, but if they do, can someone tell me what exactly is going to hurt the UA having to pay the fee? Well, I can tell you if it prevents having money in the athletic budget for whatever athletic programs need to do. And right now, Bryant Denny funds all of that, and so it's not that necessarily it's going to hurt. It's going to raise the price on tickets. Number one. Either Greg Burns will have to pass the price along DC to the ticket purchaser, meaning that you're going to pay $3 more per ticket at Bryant Denny if you do that. And think about this: the city right now the university, according to Greg Burns, pays the city $1.3 million for ticket sales. Just Bryant Denny alone, with 7 games, is going to get somewhere between 1.8 to 2.1 million additional dollars just off of the Bryant Denny games. And are you telling me that that's how much overtime it's going to take for the city police to do those? So has the city been dropping $2.7 million? Or they're saying that they're going to bump up that much more overtime? And I think that's where, like I said, I think the rub is that you went after you staged it, DC, knowing we don't have any venues that's 20 to 50,000. Bryant Denny, and so every event would have to be tracked, and so it's just I think the city, I think the athletic department in football and basketball and the sports DC are different than the other venues as a whole. Most of the other venues, Bama Theater, Amphitheater, and the whole, they pretty much serve the citizens of Tuscaloosa only. Not a lot of out of town people are coming to Tuscaloosa to go to the amphitheater. Not very many. But every basketball game, every sporting event, every football game has hometown folk and hometown fans from out of town and a visiting team. And that is bringing a lot more additional money. So they are on a different level and a different scale. And Joe had asked me at the beginning if I was mayor, I would find a way to, if I was approving this, and I would figure out how to do this. And then Greg Burns also pointed out that, contrary to reported, there's a lot of UAPD, private security, and security resource officers provided by the university at those games as well. So it's not all
Okay. And the last thing I'll say is don't make no mistake about it. The cost is not going to be borne completely by the university, passed on to the fans. The loser in all this will be the fans.
Yes.
It'll be the fans. It'll be the 50% of the fans who don't drink. They'll have a $3 tax on their ticket, whether they drink or not. And so I think that's where it's not going to be fair in any of this, but it'll all be passed on to the fans.
Yeah.
And already we have graduated university graduate prices. That's why tickets to the Utah State game is not as expensive as tickets to the SEC games that we have. That's why you can go. The lodging tax is straight up across the board on any of the hotels in Tuscaloosa. But on a game day weekend, the price of that hotel room is sky high.
Yep.
Everybody cash grabs. Everybody try to get money, and this is another. You got to get past all the politics. You got to get past all the rhetoric and realize that this is posturing on trying to get the most money. And the one that's going to hurt the most is the fans, and the one that's going to hurt the fans the most be the ones that don't partake of the drinking. So,
right.
I'd be in that situation. I'd be a ticket buyer who would be passed on the $3 to me, and I wouldn't have drank any 7 games, but I'll pay the price for everybody else to drink.
Yep, and every child that comes as well. So, yeah. All right. That legally should not be drinking because some of them. But anyway, hey, let's go ahead and get the break so we can get to. We got a couple callers, DC. But let's get the break. We'll come right back for another segment. Let's kick off the second half of the Martin Houston Show. We got DC Capstone Report in with the Martin Houston Show.
High 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we have a report of a serious wreck involving a vehicle fire on US 43 North at Paul Howell Road. You can expect some major delays there. If you see other conditions, please give me a call. Townsend Nissan is your hometown dealer with super selection and great deals all month long. That's Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa. And I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to check out the premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
Don't go through another year with that awful joint pain. Now there's an exciting new treatment available here using natural biologics, regenerative solutions that can restore and repair damaged tissue in your joints. Hey, this is Gary Harris from the Gary Harris Show. I'm talking about QC Kinetics. Now open here, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in non-surgical regeneration, highly concentrated natural biologics that can give you lasting relief. If you have pain in your knees, back, shoulder, hips, and you're tired of steroids, pain meds, and talk of major surgery, this is the treatment you've been hoping for. Call the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today for a free consultation. Learn about how natural biologics can be used to get you moving again pain-free. Listen, don't let them keep giving you steroids, and don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Get a free second opinion at QC Kinetics. Do it now and imagine life in 2022 without pain. Locations in Tuscaloosa and Birmingham. Call 205-686-1941. That's 205-686-1941. Again, 205-686-1941. Call today.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our Pep Talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn. which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring.
Welcome back to the Martin Houston Show, the sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team, on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, Martin, you guys are back in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9. It's a beautiful day. We got DC Capstone Report, and we got a couple callers waiting to get in with you, DC. Tom, you're in with the Martin Houston Show with DC Capstone Report. What's on your mind, sir?
Morning, Mark. Morning, DC. How are y'all?
Doing well.
How are you this morning?
I'm great. Thanks for taking my call. This to me, is not the mayor. The mayor can't vote, and this is all that silly city council, and they're stupid, and they're proving to be more and more stupid as the years go by, and here's my thing about this situation. There's always been drinking at the football game, outside the stadium, inside the stadium, before the game, during the game, after the game. It's always been there. Nothing's going to change. And I don't know if anybody's going to wait to get their alcohol at the stadium. And of course, there'll be some sale, but it won't amount to that much. And
you said it won't amount to that much?
Well,
Ask. Go. I'm gonna put you on a tour. I don't know which ones do. Go find out from the stadiums that have already started doing it. I think South Carolina may be one. And see if there's how much money they're making off of alcohol sales, Tom. And I would challenge you to say that this is the mayor and the city council.
Well, I won't, because the mayor don't vote. And
so everything that has happened in the city has been on the city council, and none of it's been on the mayor.
No.
Well, then, hey, that don't mean you said he don't vote. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, I mean, I'm sure he's got an opinion, and I believe he's probably on the side of the council on this. But I just want to say, let's place responsibility where it goes, and that's to everybody. And
right.
Conversations in this, they're already trying to single out one person being responsible for this, and that's just not true. And but it's the whole governing body there, and the mayor.
Agree.
If that makes everybody feel better, I'll say that he's part of it. But the voters are the city council, and I think it's dumb for this to be an issue. I never see the police at the inside the stadium anyway. Are they in
there? They're not saying inside. They're saying that it's what they do, like to help control what happens before games, during game, and after games. All it's the what the services they provide for the entirety of a game day experience, not just in the stadium. They're saying it's going to be a lot more problems if they start drinking in the stadiums. They're saying it's going to be a lot more problems when the games end that the police are going to have to deal with, and that's why they're doing it.
My question about all this, though, is when you for years have not sold alcohol in Coleman or in Bryant, right?
Right.
And that's the issue now. Let me ask this: when you start to provide alcohol in settings like this, does liability, like liability insurance and stuff, does that increase? Are you responsible for a bigger chunk of your money going to liability?
Let me ask you this: if somebody,
my question is, does that play a part in putting the additional charge?
let me say this: if a person is drinking at a bar and I continue to serve them, and then they go out and cause an accident, the person whom they hit and injure and or maim or kill, that person and or family can go back and go after that bar. So
Right. I was just wondering though, on the front end, when you said
no, your insurance liability goes up. I mean, if you have a less liability and you don't have that's not a positive. That's if someone leaves the stadium now and they may have drank a bunch in the stadium, but the stadium did not provide it, the stadium is not liable.
Right.
So
I just wondered though.
Yeah.
When you sit down and you say, okay, we're going to sell alcohol in the stadium, and what's that cost? Well, we got to buy the alcohol, blah blah blah. But is insurance part
Yes.
of that? I don't know.
Yes. Yes.
And also, I wanted to criticize the political structure in the city of Tuscaloosa on the city council. They're dumb.
All right. Hey, well, I guess that all chases back to us as the people. We voted them in. So if you won't like who you have, vote them out. So, I mean, that's. I mean, all right, thanks. All right, Pat, you're in with DC Capstone Report. What's on your mind, sir? Pat couldn't hold super. Hello, Pat.
I'm here.
Okay, you're in with DC Capstone Report. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good morning, DC. Good morning, Martin. I think it's a cash grab by the city. I got zero problem with putting a $3 consumer tax per can of beer on the person consuming it, but be dang it dumb if I should have to pay for somebody else to consume a cold beer. But it's bad enough that I got to pay about $8 now for a souvenir cup of Coca-Cola. I mean, that hurts my feelings bad. There's no reason that Coca-Cola souvenir cup should cost over $5. That's making the cup and the Coca-Cola does not cost over 50 cents. Do you not agree with me, Martin?
I agree that it shouldn't be passed on.
I got I'm for that. Number one, that might be just a little bit of, somebody going to drink them a beer. Maybe they'll limit themselves to 2 beers. If they cost them $20 for 2 beers, maybe they'll limit themselves to 2 beers, and that won't be so bad for the cops to have to deal with. But I disagree with me having to pay for my and I'm fixing to have 2 babies under 5 that'll be going to ball games with me. And I shouldn't have to pay a tax for them so somebody else can drink a cold beer.
DC?
What do you think, DC?
I agree with you 100%. That's what I said earlier. This is the one that's going to be passed down to the loser in all this is going to be the fans that don't drink, the kids that don't drink. Money's going to be passed along to all of us so that other people can afford to drink.
Yeah. I got a question.
I think it's wrong with tickets. Tickets to get into a venue hurt those who don't drink. If you're gonna tax someone, tax the person who's going to purchase it at point of sale.
Exactly. Tax it at point of sale. But the city, it's just a cash grab by the city. They're wanting to set it up to where because they're not going to hire any more police for that. That's not going to change anything. They got what they got because they got to pay them all year long, and unless they're going to spread that money out to pay for additional officers, which we don't need.
They're saying that we're unless they've gotten caught up, we're low on the number of police officers. But on the other side of that, Pat, they're saying it's for overtime. the additional overtime. So,
Hey, well, spread them out like that sounds like a managerial problem.
well,
You put them on a rotating basis where you need them on the weekend.
I mean, like I said, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt, Pat. I'm not saying I don't doubt the need for the overtime. My point is the city of Tuscaloosa. You have to look at the university and what they do differently. They're bringing in all types of additional revenue to the city when they have an event versus the majority of the other events don't. There aren't a bunch of people coming to Tuscaloosa to spend the night when we have an event at the Bama Theater. I mean, and I'm not saying the Bama Theater should pay extra, but if that's what's in place, that's what's in place. But as far as the city itself, I mean, as far as that goes, and not knowing all the numbers, I don't know all the numbers. I'm just saying that I would probably look at the university, if I was in that role, I'd probably look at the university different than I would everyone else. Hey, I need to get to one more caller, and I need to.
I want to know is if Martin Houston was a mayor, I don't think we'd be dealing with this.
Well, maybe. All right, thanks, man. All right, have a good one. All right, as we go to break, DC, Virgil Williams saying alcohol is already in the stadium. There are pour rooms, and the big boxes have alcohol already. And so, there's already places that you can access alcohol, and the university pays accordingly. But speaking from an insurance guy, that is a small percentage of the people who they provide access to alcohol or allow to bring alcohol, because they bring that alcohol in. I don't know if that's necessarily sold. It can be sold in the stadium, but they have alcohol in the stadium, and so that's a different level of liability than when you sell it to them. You take on responsibility, and it will be access to many more thousands. So I think that's where the liability would switch hands. Correct me if I'm wrong, DC.
That's correct. You're referring to the Dram Shop Act, which applies to the people who are serving alcohol to people.
Yes. Yep. So that's where you'd have the increased liability. So, all right, let's get the break here. Coming back on the other side, we will wrap up things with DC Capstone Report.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we've been told by authorities we have a wreck on US 43 at Paul Howell Road. It's an 18-wheeler. It's on fire. It may be carrying ammunition. US 43 is closed. Divert your traffic over to Highway 69. If you see conditions, give us a call. Don't forget, Townsend Nissan is your hometown dealer, and they need your trade. I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Tuesday morning. The city of Tuscaloosa looking to make money off of potential new age alcohol sales at athletic events. The city wants to collect a fee from sporting events where alcohol is sold. The extra cost would range from $1 to $3 for each ticket based on a venue's capacity. UA has placed the sale of alcoholic beverages at Coleman Coliseum on hold in an attempt to resolve the issue. Click TuscaloosaThread.com for more local news, sports, and weather coverage. It's free. Don Hartley, Town Square Media, Tuscaloosa.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. If you're looking for a way to add value to your home, make your flower beds pop, make your landscaping stand out from your neighbors, then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help you do just that. They have numerous styles, but they feature the Moroccan Stone Curb Series, which includes 4 great styles and unlimited color choices. That's Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing. They are the one that can help you stand out from your neighbors. Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, 205-331-6823. You may also find yourself with the need for a custom size stone or custom shaped stone. Then Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing can help with that as well. Paul Fuller and his team are waiting on your call right now for that free quote. And if you tell them that Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show told you to stop by, you'll get a big discount. So call Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing at 205-331-6823 or visit them online at Tuscaloosa Custom Curbing, LLC.
How do you make the most of your land? If you ask the Wrens, who run with us on a John Deere mower, they tell you,
I mow first, then I do all the trimming.
But the Hubbards, who work behind the wheel of the John Deere compact tractor, would say,
If it's something you want, just go after it and try it.
Then there's the Mosers, who may mention from the seat of their John Deere Gator UTV.
You can't be all work and not play.
There are millions of ways to make the most of your land. Learn how to make the most of yours at Deere.com. Nothing runs like a Deere.
Tuscaloosa Tire and Service, they've got the big brands you know and trust. Goodyear, Firestone, Bridgestone, Cooper, and they can finance for you as well. When you need routine maintenance and alignment, a tune-up, whatever it is, belts, hoses, just basic stuff, or when you don't know what's wrong with your car, truck, or SUV, make it Tuscaloosa Tire and Service. They're dependable, they're trustworthy. That's why they've lasted for over 36 years. Skyland Boulevard, McFarland Boulevard East, in Northport on Lurleen Wallace Boulevard. Check out the website, TuscaloosaTireandService.com.
The perfect place to make your escape. Golden Moon offers 600 finely appointed rooms with incredible views. Take a dip in our Vegas-style infinity pool, complete with a full-service bar and cabanas. Experience the South's premier golf destination at Dancing Rabbit Golf Club, or catch the biggest sporting events at Time Out Lounge. So what are you waiting for? Come see us in Choctaw, Mississippi. Golden Moon Hotel and Casino, a Pearl River Resort property.
Weather brought to you by Fincher & Osmond. Fincher & Osmond carries artisan-created diamonds, and trust us, they are bigger than you expect. Visit www.fincherandosmond.com.
The sound of Bama sports. Your show, your team. The Martin Houston Show on your home for Alabama sports. Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, Martin, you guys are back right now.
All right. Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show with DC Capstone Report. DC, tell our listeners where they can find you, sir.
You can find us at DCCapstoneReport.com, DC Capstone Report Facebook page. You can follow me on Twitter at DavidCott50. And be sure to check out Lance Shore's other site, RollTideBama.com and FreelancePictures.com.
All right, DC. I guess in whether you like it, love it, or hate it, the people who are already able to bring their own alcohol in, I guess they'd have to pay per ticket as well, and they wouldn't be purchasing alcohol. So you got a lot of folks that's probably against this thing for different reasons. But Jed Cowan said LSU Athletics brought in $2.259 million in net revenue from the sale of more than 280,000 alcoholic beverages in Tiger Stadium this season. So there you go. It'd be a lot of sales there. So anyway, back to our other conversations. DC, big news: Arch Manning cutting down his list to Texas and the Tide. A lot of people assuming that saying that he should go to Texas, DC, because he'll be the man right off. It'll be his team. And a lot of people assuming he shouldn't come to Alabama because Ty Simpson will be the heir apparent at Bryant Denny here. So what you think?
Well, I think that's a lot of assumption there. Texas isn't recruiting any quarterbacks. They're just waiting around. I don't think that's the case. I think there'll be competition either place he goes in. I think they'll be on the same level. Alabama will have Bryce Young going to the NFL. He'll be able to come in. I don't expect Ty Simpson to get a lot of playing time. He'll come in and compete against Jalen Milroe and Ty Simpson, and the best player will get the starting role. I think the same thing would happen at Texas. I think the thing to look at there is one of the minor things to you is I believe one of the coaches out there that's very close to the Mannings is David Cutcliffe. So he has some Alabama ties, and there's been rumors he's going to take an analyst job at Texas. So let's see if Coach Saban can go in and work his magic and get an analyst job for David Cutcliffe.
Yeah, that's interesting. And Texas will be in the SEC probably potentially by the time young Manning is ready to start playing. So, and hey, who knows? Job security would mean a lot to me, and I think one man is locked in for at least a few more years, and the other one, he had a shaky year, so we'll see. And will that play into it as well? DC, what are your thoughts from Bama versus Arkansas?
I thought Alabama played a pretty good game. I think we still had the let down when we had a 13-point lead and gave it up, and it finally came back to win the game. But my point in all that was Arkansas was probably, in my opinion, the hottest team in the SEC. So I looked at it as a plus that we had a big lead, but we had to fight back because Arkansas played a good game. But I thought our defense on J.D. Notae was impressive. And I thought we found a little game in the post there with Noah Gurley, which might help us going forward if we can work on that. So I think we hadn't had much big man inside out, and it worked pretty good on our big man inside out in the late in the game, especially the last two plays.
And what are your thoughts on the diamond and one? Going to a little zone. Yeah.
I think using those three players to do that was a little different. I think it caught Arkansas off guard.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think it also helped, what's his name, protect at the rim a little bit. He blocked a few shots, but also altered more shots, as Arkansas was 9 for 25 on layups and dunks. So, hey, we do have a caller. Go ahead.
He's getting better every game.
Yeah.
He's just growing. Remember, he's 17, 18-year-old kid. He's growing every game.
Yeah, and DC, we do have a caller, Joey. So, Joey, you're in with DC Capstone Report. I know it's going to be short and tight, but want to get you in. What's on your mind, sir?
All right. Well, good morning. Just a couple of things with the availability of the alcohol.
Uh-huh.
They've got how many stadiums around the nation, college towns and pro towns that already are selling it?
I don't know.
They should already know what to expect with the drinkers. And then the ones who want it have been bringing it in for 50 years.
That's a good point.
Also, another perfect example. It goes back probably before Marvin, but when Green Track was opened,
yes,
the dog racing track.
Yeah.
City of Tuscaloosa said, "Oh, you should have heard the people saying, oh, there'll be alcohol and these gamblers and sinners. We don't want them." So they went just across the county line. Greene County got all the revenue. Tuscaloosa still had all the same problems because they were driving right back here after they finished. They just didn't have the revenue. I mean, they went, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to happen.
Right. Joey, you're going.
And Greene County got the millions, and Tuscaloosa had the people still coming to Tuscaloosa to eat and drink before and after the game, the racing.
Yeah, that's true. And they stayed in Tuscaloosa because there wasn't any.
Y'all can talk about it, but you all have a wonderful day.
All right, thanks, Joey. Joey pointing out that those who want it still been doing it, so we'll see. Hey, DC, give us your closing thoughts on Alabama versus Mississippi State. We may have to have you back again this week.
Well, I think it's a good opportunity for us to put together three consistent games. We need to win this one at home against Mississippi State, and I think we can do that. I think we match up well against them, and I think we're going to win this game.
Hey, DC, do we win? Do we win? If we beat Mississippi State, do we win out? Do we still win at Kentucky and run the table?
I think if it's a road game that'd be close to win, I think Kentucky's the team that we could beat in the SEC on the road based on the way they play, based on the way we match up against them. They're really good and really athletic, but I do believe they're beatable.
If we get the shots to fall, we could get Mississippi State. Bold prediction. Alabama about to go on a run, y'all. All right. Hey, thanks, DC. Tell them where they can find you real quick again.
Thanks, Martin. DCCapstoneReport.com, DC Capstone Report Facebook page, and at David Cott 50 on Twitter. Thanks, Martin. Have a great day and roll tide.
All right. Thanks. At David Cott 50. I'm Martin Houston. Thanks to all the callers, listeners, viewers, chatters, and all of you who have opinions. Thanks for being a part of the Martin Houston Show. Remember this, trust in the Lord always, lean not your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Thanks, Joe, and catch you on tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the Martin Houston Show.
Thanks, Martin. Have a great day.
You too, Joe.
And streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.